So what was the journey like, coming from clinical work, then into more management leadership roles, and then now entrepreneurship?
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster. It's a weird ride. Like, I never was one of these people that had a set 5-year plan. Like, here's what I'm going to do at year 1, and here's what I'm going to accomplish by year 2. Like, I hear these leadership stories, and I always felt a little bit like, am I lacking that gene? Like, I don't know, but I just never had, was it, a reflection of me? Like, I wasn't doing something right because I didn't have a blueprint that I was following for any of it, I would say. So I just have always been a person that really, I love learning. I love people, and I love connecting with people, and I love connecting around new ideas and trying new things together. And so I think in my journey, in seeking out the experiences that I love the most, it just kind of landed me with opportunities that come up along your path. And because I'm the type of individual, I think that just really is okay treading in the gray and being a bit of a pioneer. I'm really comfortable with the unknown, and I think believing in the vision. And so similar to my career, I guess, I'm okay if there's not a blueprint, and I just believe that the right opportunities pop up, and that with the right team and the right set of resilience, you can kind of push through anything to get the outcome. So with my career, I think I've just always capitalized on the opportunities that were put in front of me, and it just kind of led me here, right? So when I was a clinician, I loved it, and I wasn't really looking to move into other roles. And I would say that management was never something that I was really interested in doing, but leadership, I think, was something that I was always naturally inclined to do. So there's a big difference. I never really thought out a management role, and I never actually have been a manager at all on my journey, which is unique when you find yourself in a senior leadership role and you haven't followed this linear pathway of you're a clinician, then you're a manager, then you're a director, then you're a VP. I did not follow that path. So for all those people out there that think that that's the way you have to do it, you don't have to do it that way. And instead, I always led with, someone once told me, throw out the 5-year blueprint and instead really tap into, one of my mentors actually through the Project Management Institute said to me, I'm a huge believer in mentors, by the way. Everyone should have them at different points and for different reasons. But this particular mentor said to me, don't focus so much on the nuts and bolts of your 5-year plan, but maybe just think about how you want to feel. How do you want to feel in your work, and how do you want to feel? And that will attract you to the right opportunities rather than forcing this, I have to apply for X job because that's the path that you have to take to get where you want to go. So I think that was a really important piece of feedback and advice that I got early on. And so I've really clung to that, where I just say to myself, how do I feel about this opportunity? And does it feel like it aligns to the values and the purpose and the impact that I want to have? And if, my inner intuition says yes, then I take it. So that's kind of how I found myself here, from going from, project management roles where I was executing projects across a number of providers to try to do really good, I always say, I like to do good things with good people. So that's really the experiences that I'm attracted to. And so when I worked as a project manager for HealthLinks, I got the opportunity to work with so many powerful organizations and people. And when I say powerful, it's people who are really mission driven. And that inspired me to want to create huge impact in the community for vulnerable and marginalized populations. And we got to do a lot of really good work together. And that was really exciting. And at the same time, I was really fascinated about, again, it was just a genuine interest. What are the tools that we can give people to really enable their work, enable their communities? And I got really into the health tech world and then dove into that. And that kind of led me to the next opportunity where someone recruited me for, my position when I went to the Institute for Better Health. And then how I ended up in this role was I was bumping along. I didn't apply for it, but I was bumping along in my life, enjoying my experience at work. And, out of nowhere from my past, someone came back into the present that said, I'm looking to retire, and I think you're the right person to fill my shoes. And they had interacted with me while I was doing frontline clinical work. And they said, I think you had the right passion. There's something about you. You always stuck out in my mind. And I was like, wow, okay. That was like 5 years ago, like back to my present. And that's what pulled me over into this new role.
That's amazing, because a lot of people are in their jobs, but they're unhappy or they're not doing their best because they're trying to find that next opportunity, but you never know, what is in front of you. So it's so important to do your best in whatever it is that you're currently doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. When you follow like that piece of advice, when you follow your feeling, I think, and you really listen to yourself and the opportunities that you're drawn to, the road reveals itself. We're so busy sometimes forcing a direction. And I've made that mistake in my past too, where I've applied for things and I thought that was what I had to do. And, I didn't get them. And it was a blessing because that wasn't actually the path I was meant to take. And sometimes in the forcing of what we think is the right steps to make to get to the ultimate destination, we're sort of forcing an outcome that, was never meant to happen. So.
Great advice, about how you feel, like pay attention to that versus just chasing a title or, a place of work. Yeah. Would you say
I have to tell you, like the title was the thing that I'm the most uncomfortable with. When I got hired into this role and they gave me the title, I remember Lori, my CEO, and she said to me, I'm giving you this title, but, at Bellwoods, we really don't operate with titles. And that because I was like, I'm so uncomfortable with the title. And the reason I'm uncomfortable with it is it typically delineates a separation between and power levels, right? And I'm all about distributed leadership, and I don't very uncomfortable with the traditional hierarchy that we create sometimes. And I feel like it's very artificial and it doesn't allow you to harness the power of the team, because the team actually, I say all the time, they make me look good. And I just unlock opportunities for them, right? So that title, Lori said to me, it lets you be at the table. Like I have to give you the title because it invites you to sit at the dinner table with all the big kids, right? But when you come back to Bellwoods, like you're just Jacklyn at Bellwoods. And I was like, I love this. Like that is exactly the culture that I was looking to be a part of from a leadership perspective.